Alright class, welcome back. Glad I could see you guys today. Hope you guys have had a good morning so far. Today we are going to talk about the effects of increasing or decreasing energy levels in compounds regarding chemical and physical changes. So, just so that we can recap real fast from our lesson yesterday, who can tell me what a physical change is?
Physical change, like change in, I don't know, I forgot already.
Okay, so a physical change is when the materials that make up a substance, they may change form, but they don't actually change into something else.
Oh, that's right. That's when you talked about like burning versus, like burning a piece of paper versus crumpling it, right?
Exactly. So with the paper analogy, what would be the physical change? Would it be the crumpling of the paper or the burning of the paper?
The crumpling is physical.
Exactly, and why?
Because, I don't remember.
So, if I were to take this piece of paper, where'd that piece of paper go? If I were to take this piece of paper, and if I were to just crumple it up, just a ball, is it still paper though?
Yes.
Perfect. So it's still paper. So, did the substances that make up this paper, did they change?
No.
No, they just kind of changed form. They went from a nice flat piece of paper to a crumbly, wrinkly one. Thank you for that. So, what is a chemical change then?
That was like the burning.
Exactly. The substances that made up the paper were changed into something else. Perfect. Thank you. Okay, so what I have here is I have a cup of ice. And I want you guys to just take notes on this ice. There is a section in your handout, of your notes handout, that says cup of ice. And I want you guys to just make some observations about the ice as the class goes on. Any questions about that? No? Okay. Sweet. Okay, so a compound or any substance is made up of molecules. And does anyone know what a molecule is? Can someone give me, like, just kind of a general definition? If you don't know, that's okay. I haven't really talked about it too much.
I don't really remember.
Okay, so a molecule is when two or more atoms combine. And what kind of atoms are there that we know of?
Like the periodic table?
Exactly, the periodic table. So we have like hydrogen, helium, nitrogen, carbon. Those are all elements, right? So when those combine, they form molecules. So, and what is one molecule that we interact with every single day? We can't live without it. Any ideas?
Water.
Water, exactly. Okay, so does anybody happen to know what the formula is for the molecule of water?
Hydrogen and oxygen?
Exactly. So, and water is made up of hydrogen and oxygen, and it is the molecular formula is H2O, and that just means that there's two hydrogens and one oxygen atom. Our ice keeps wanting to fly. Put that over there. Perfect. So, water is a really good example of increasing or decreasing energy levels because it's in three very common phases. But first, what are the three phases of any kind of matter?
Liquid?
Yep, that's one. Okay, so we have a liquid. Okay, what's another?
Solid?
Solid. Thank you, Susie. Okay, and there's one more.
Gas.
Thank you, Bruce. Yes. The third one is gas. Perfect. Okay, so I want you guys to talk to your peers, talk to your group mates, and I want you guys to come up with one or two characteristics of things that you find, or characteristics of each of these phases of matter. Okay, so I'll give you guys about 30 seconds to figure that out. Okay, 30 seconds later. Okay, so what are one or two characteristics of each of these phases of matter? Group number 1.
Liquid, it's runny, it's fluid-y.
Runny, fluidy. Okay. Group number 2.
Solid is hard.
Hard, yep. That makes sense. I mean, the desk is solid and it's pretty hard, despite the fact that it doesn't sound like it, but that's okay. Okay, and let's go with group number 5. What about gas? What did you guys come up with that?
Gas. It can't see it,
Can't see it, can't touch it. Yeah, perfect. Okay, perfect. Does anyone happen to know what it is that separates these different phases of matter? What makes a solid, or what makes a gas? Any ideas? No? That's okay. So, the things that pretty much define which is which is just, so you have to look at the molecules. Who can remind me again what molecules are?
Water.
Water. Perfect. That's one example of a molecule, but what is kind of like the overall definition of a molecule?
Couple of elements coming together.
Exactly. And so when you have multiple molecules, what do you form?
Compound?
Compound or substance. Yeah, exactly. Perfect. Okay, so the things that differentiate between a solid, a liquid, and a gas, so when you look at the molecules, you want to look at the distance between the molecules, and the motion of the molecules, how much the molecules are really moving. Okay, so we are just going to watch this short little video really quick that just kind of talks about the states of matter. Okay, so let's go ahead and get that rolling. So now we just watch a video that is called States of Matter by the Veritasium channel on YouTube. And it just talks about how these two elements of a compound decide whether or not it's a solid, a liquid, or a gas. Okay? Alright, perfect. So, now that we've watched that video, what can you guys tell me about the distance between molecules in a liquid?
They're